So we've had Cycles X for a while now, and it's a huge improvement over the older versions of Cycles. You'll still occasionally run into slow and sluggish renders. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 practical tips to significantly improve your render times in Cycles. For this demonstration, I'm going to be using a standardized scene that should be fairly similar to what many of you may work with. This scene contains over 70,000 vertices and includes high fidelity textures. All render settings are kept at the Cycles factory defaults, so we have a fair baseline. So, tip number 1. This might sound a bit obvious, but it's worth mentioning because some people may miss out and also they may be starting out and they may need some help. By default, Blender uses the CPU for Cycles rendering. The advantage of CPU is stability. It won't crash even during extremely long renders. But the downside is speed. A single frame can take up to 2 hours. In my case, rendering this scene on a CPU took over 45 minutes per frame. Yeah, even with a powerful processor. So what we want instead is a GPU. A GPU is designed to handle massive parallel calculations, which makes it faster for rendering. If you don't see a GPU or it is grayed out, it means that Blender either doesn't detect a compatible GPU or it isn't enabled. So go to Edit, Preferences, System, and choose the appropriate render device. Choose Optics for newer NVIDIA GPUs and CUDA for older NVIDIA GPUs and HIP for AMD GPUs. So once enabled, render the scene again. In my case, switching from the CPU to GPU alone reduced the render time from over 45 minutes to 3 minutes per frame. That's already a massive improvement. But most people focus on samples while optimizing renders. By default, Cycle uses 4096 samples, which is far more than what most scenes need. A better and more efficient approach is using the noise threshold. Let's try increasing it. Setting the noise threshold for 0.01 to zero point 0.1 reduced my render time from 3 minutes to about 36 seconds, with almost no visible loss in quality thanks to Blender's modern denoiser. Noise threshold tells Blender to stop rendering once the image reaches an acceptable level of noise. Instead of blindly rendering a fixed number of samples, Blender evaluates the image quality in real life, with almost no visible loss in quality thanks to Blender's modern denoiser. Pushing it further to zero point 0.5 dropped the render time from 36 seconds to around 17 seconds, while the image quality virtually remains the same. This single setting can save you minutes or even hours across an animation. Now let's talk about light paths. By default, Cycles allows up to 12 light bounces, but that's overkill for many scenes. A good strategy is to reduce all the bounces to zero, and you can select which one gives more important one by one. So nature scenes often need more transmission for subsurface scattering, whilst hard surface needs more reflection or roughness maps. So you can do that accordingly. With these changes, my render speed dropped to about 12 seconds per frame. World settings. So if you are using an HDRI instead of a procedural sky, render times can increase slightly. In the world settings, change surface sampling from auto to manual. This allows you to control the importance map resolution. Lower values increase the speed but may add noise, while higher values improve quality at the cost of time. This setting doesn't always guarantee faster renders, but it's useful to know and experiment while depending on your scene. So that's all for today, and I hope you guys have found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one.